All right, guys, so in this video, I want to give you an honest review of what it's like to become an Amazon FBA seller. So I've been selling on Amazon for over 4 years, and unfortunately, it's not all good news. So I wanted to make this video to share with you an honest review of what it's really like, so that if you do start your own Amazon FBA business, you know exactly what you are getting into. So the first thing I want to talk about, and this is probably the worst thing about becoming an Amazon FBA seller, so it's good to cover it first, because if you don't like the sound of that, then you can just move on to the next video. But Amazon pride themselves on being the Earth's most customer-centric company. That is their current mission statement. However, there's nothing in there about how they treat sellers. So they care about their customers. But if you imagine how much Amazon care about the customers, if you reverse that, that is how much they care about sellers. So don't start an Amazon FBA business expecting that Amazon care about you or are going to treat you well. The seller support they have in place is absolutely terrible. And my advice to any seller is do everything you can to avoid having to deal with seller support. So if I try and explain to you why it's so bad, with seller support, Amazon employ very low paid workers in foreign countries where English or whichever country they're interacting with, they don't really understand the native tongue. And then those workers are actually under targets to reply to a certain amount of inquiries every single hour. And when our support tickets come through, they have to choose from a set number of templates. So it's almost impossible to get a real answer to your question unless it falls within that very templated system that they have. So it can be an extremely frustrating experience. And this ranges from setting up your account. So maybe you've changed your bank details or your business details. That could end up blocking your Amazon account for days or weeks until you get that resolved. Maybe you have an issue with a product gets suspended for some reason. Maybe you're having issues with a shipment being processed into stock or a disbursement, Amazon actually paying you your money. Whatever it is, working with seller support is a frustrating experience. So if you are considering starting an Amazon FBA business and you don't think you can deal with that, if you don't have the patience to deal with incompetent systems and incompetent people, then Amazon FBA probably isn't for you. However, if you are aware of that to start with, and you are patient and you reach out to other people and get support and do your research on potential issues and you can find solutions yourself, then Amazon does offer huge potential to make money. I've been doing it for over 4 years. It has been life-changing for me. So it can be extremely frustrating at times, but if you play by the rules, if you understand the limitations of seller support and you work within that, it is possible to do very well with Amazon. So that was the first thing I wanted to bring up, as I know it will put off a lot of people. The second thing I wanted to talk about is the current opportunity with Amazon FBA. So over the past couple of years, you may have noticed it yourself, is that less and less people are paying to advertise their Amazon FBA courses and YouTube channels when you start. So for example, when you watch this video, it may not have been someone promoting Amazon FBA, but a couple of years ago, every single Amazon FBA related video would have started with an advert from someone selling an Amazon FBA course. So I think what's happened over the past couple of years, it's become more difficult to become an Amazon FBA seller. The opportunity has been less talked about. And the main reason for this is shipping costs went crazy after COVID restrictions were lifted. And to give you an example, what this meant is to bring in a full container of goods went from around $2,000 to around $20,000. So for people that were looking to start Amazon FBA, maybe had £2,000 to £3,000 or a little bit more to start the Amazon FBA business, they had enough money for inventory, but they didn't have enough money for the shipping as well. So I can understand why over the past year or two, a lot of people have looked at Amazon FBA, seen the shipping costs and gone, do you know what? I don't really have enough money to start this business properly. But what's happened over the past few months, demand has dropped off a lot and shipping costs have come down. I'll probably pop up a graph next to me now showing you what's happened. But shipping costs are in free fall at the moment. And to give you an example, earlier on in this year, I was paying over £300 per cubic meter of goods. We're now down to £135 per cubic meter, and that's going to continue to drop based on the freight forwarders I've been speaking to. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that drop below or get very close to about £100 per cubic meter over the next few months. So anyone that's looking to start an Amazon FBA business, this is probably the best time in the past 2 years, really, because you'll have less financial risk because you don't have to invest as much in importing your goods. So it's a good opportunity at the moment if you are considering starting it. And that's probably why Amazon FBA has kind of quietened down. The interest in Amazon FBA has quietened down a bit over the past couple of years. But I expect that to pick up again now that shipping costs have come down so much. The third thing I want to talk about is saturation, and this is something you've probably heard already, is that Amazon FBA is oversaturated. And I think that is true. There's two ways of looking at it. One is that every single niche on Amazon, whatever product you search for, there are going to be pages and pages of results. So you could say, yes, Amazon is oversaturated because every single niche has a product for that particular customer. However, Amazon, in my opinion, is oversaturated with rubbish products. If you look at most of the sellers, they are Chinese sellers that are selling at the cheapest possible price. So they've reduced the quality of the materials. So it's oversaturated with rubbish product. And that's why it's such a great opportunity for us UK sellers who are happy to invest a bit more to develop a really good product. And then these good products that we're developing stand out amongst these niches that are saturated with average or rubbish products. And if you be honest with yourself, when was the last time you bought a private label, so a non-big brand product from Amazon, and you were actually impressed by the quality of the product? From what I see, pretty much every Chinese product that I buy on Amazon from a Chinese seller. Now, this isn't saying that Chinese suppliers aren't capable of making good products, but as I've found with many of the Chinese sellers that sell directly on Amazon, they try to sell the cheapest version because they are in a price war. Whereas we're not looking to do that. We're in a quality war. So we want to have a premium product that we're charging a bit more for. And that's why we can make good returns on Amazon. And that's how we stand out in these oversaturated niches, because people in this country aren't all about buying the cheapest. If you were, we wouldn't have companies like John Lewis, Waitrose, Marks and Spencer's. These companies wouldn't exist. There are people in this country that want to buy good quality products. They want products that offer good value. That doesn't mean cheap, it means value. Whereas the Chinese suppliers are focused on cheap products. So we come in with our offer and we can do well in those saturated niches. And the fourth thing I wanted to talk about, and that is whether Amazon FBA is actually a passive income stream, because many people will find Amazon FBA when they're looking for passive income ideas. Now, Amazon FBA does require some upfront work, probably a good 2 to 4 weeks of research to really understand the model. Then probably a good few months of finding a product, developing it, doing it your branding, applying for a trademark and stuff like that. But once your product is established, once it's up and running, it has the potential to become very, very passive. So with my Amazon FBA business, I log into Amazon once a day. So that takes me about 5 minutes just to check on sales and make sure everything's okay. And then throughout the month, I'll probably spend maybe 4 to 8 hours, depending on the month, just doing things like ordering new stock, dealing with any customer inquiries, which is very, very rare, as most of them go directly to Amazon. That's what we pay them for. So only the very occasional inquiry will actually come through to you directly for you to deal with. So Amazon FBA can be very, very passive. And for me, I would say I spend less than 8 hours a month on my Amazon FBA business. Now, if you're really driven and you want to grow your brand and want to launch like 10, 20 products, of course, you can spend a lot more time on it. But you have to figure out what sort of business you want it to be for you. For me, Amazon FBA fulfills a certain need. It provides a certain income level that I need to live my life the way I want it. Now, if I was at a different point in my life, I might decide to launch a lot more products and spend a lot more time on it. But where I am in my life, I'd rather spend time with my son and my family. So Amazon FBA gives me the opportunity to do that. And the final thing I want to talk about, and this is a fair question I get a lot, is if Amazon FBA offers this much potential to make money, then why do I have a YouTube channel talking about Amazon FBA? And that's a great question, but it goes back to the very first point in this video, and that is Amazon and seller support. Despite being an Amazon seller for over 4 years, I do not trust Amazon, and I do not assume that that income is 100% secure. So many things can happen within different product niches. So many things can happen with your account. There's so many things that can change that I don't like having it as my sole source of income. So Amazon FBA is my core income source, but I have YouTube as my side hustle to add a bit on top of that, and also provide a fallback. So if say something happened to my Amazon FBA account for a bit, I still have income coming from my YouTube channel, and also the course that I sell as well, but I don't really actively promote. Now, if after all that you are still considering Amazon FBA, you might want to check out a video I released last week. It is a full guide on how to start an Amazon FBA business. It has every single step with a PDF that you guys can download to follow. So I'm going to link to that now, and I'll see you guys over there.